Conditioning versus love. What if I told you that many children were never actually loved? They were conditioned, and everyone called it love. Not because their parents were cruel, not because they didn't care, but because control was mistaken for care. Obedience was mistaken for respect, and silence was mistaken for peace. And that confusion doesn't just affect childhood, it shapes families, relationships, and entire generations. Welcome back to the channel, where truth is spoken, healing is honored, and growth is the mission. Welcome to Family Focused, the Healing the Roots movement. Now let's define clearly what love is versus conditions. In family systems, some of the most dangerous misunderstandings is the belief that conditioning and love are the same thing. They are not. Conditioning is about shaping behavior to maintain order, comfort, or control. Love is about creating safety so development can occur. One demands compliance, the other builds connection. And when families confuse the two, children adapt in ways that look functional but are deeply costly. There's a well-known story used in trauma and behavior education. A baby elephant is tied to a small wooden stake with a rope. At that age, the elephant is too weak to break free. Day after day, the elephant pulls. Day after day, it fails. Eventually, the elephant stops trying. Years later, fully grown and powerful enough to rip the stake from the ground with ease, the elephant remains tied to the same small stake. Not because the rope is strong, but because the belief is. This is conditioning. Conditioning teaches a child who they must be to be accepted, what emotions are allowed, which needs are inconvenient, when love is available and when it's not. It is often enforced through fear, guilt, shame, love withdrawal, emotional pressure disguised as discipline. Conditioning is outcome driven. The focus is not the child, it is behavior. Like the elephant, the child eventually stops trying, not because they can't, but because they believe they shouldn't. What love actually is. Love in healthy family systems is not permissive, but it is safe. Love communicates the following: you belong before you behave. Your emotions make sense, even when guidance is needed. Mistakes do not threaten connection. Love is presence driven. It regulates the child's nervous system instead of overwhelming it. Love corrects behavior without threatening belonging. And the core difference. Here is the dividing line. Conditioning prioritizes control. Love prioritizes safety. Conditioning asks, how do I get this child to comply? Love asks, how do I help this child develop? One suppresses expression, the other supports expression. One creates obedience, the other creates resilience. Why does this matter? From a trauma-informed lens, a child's nervous system does not measure intent, it measures safety. When love is conditional, inconsistent, or withdrawn, the nervous system enters survival mode. The child adapts through compliance, hypervigilance, or emotional shutdown. Identity becomes performance. This is not misbehavior. This is adaptation to threat. Trauma is not defined by what happened, but by what the child had to suppress to stay connected. In child protection, we must be clear. Provision by no means is equal to protection. A child can be clothed, fed, educated, and still be emotionally unsafe. Impact outweighs intent all the time. Emotional safety is not optional, it is a developmental requirement, kind of like how we require food. And when emotional harm is normalized, it becomes invisible, but its effects last a lifetime. Love in families looks like repair after rupture, boundaries without humiliation, discipline without fear, authority without domination, and guidance without control. Love does not require a child to abandon themselves to stay connected. If this message hit home, it's not because you're broken, it's because you're waking up. And healing begins where awareness ends. If this helped you, like, share, and subscribe. And let's keep healing one truth at a time. Healing the nation, one child at a time.